get started, I just wanted to say, I really want to appreciate, or I really want to say thank you to, the guys in this room, the brothers, obviously my family, my friends, all the guys in the league that reached out, the organization, and especially the fans. The support that I had and my family had at the end of last season was amazing, and it just shows how great this hockey world can be. But I'd really appreciate if we could keep these questions to about hockey and hockey only.
In that sense, what point of your summer were you ready to get back to work, and how excited are you about this getting going?
Yeah, I'm really excited to get the season started. Obviously a lot of unfinished business after last season, so just really excited to get going again.
Mark, Kyle's contract situation is obviously a storyline. We've seen these things play out before. Your situation, you and Connor signed at the end of camp. So what's your thoughts on just where things are at? Do you give him any advice as he's kind of in this phase of his career?
If he comes to me and wants to talk about it, I'm obviously all ears. He's my friend. He's friend first and foremost, and the business side of things is his own personal business. All you can do is just be there as a friend and help him through if he has questions or has thoughts that he wants to run by you. But obviously I'm a big fan of his, and would love if he stuck around longer. But obviously I just want the best for him and leave it at that.
Behind the scenes, like what you just said, you'd love him to stick around longer. I mean, you and Bucky clearly had conversations last year when you headed into those, or a couple years ago when you signed those contracts. How much recruiting is done behind the scenes?
I don't know if recruiting's the right word. It's more, we're all friends in here. We're all buddies. Like I said before, it's there's the business side of things, and then there's the friendship side of things. So it's just a matter of having conversations. If the guy has a question that he's curious about, or asking about past experiences, that kind of stuff is more kind of where the conversation goes. And obviously, if guys want to bounce ideas, or this is what's going on, blah blah blah, then it gets into that. But that's all. Obviously all confidential.
We talked a lot heading into and out of your contract extension, pardon the words, about them kind of opening up the playbook a little bit, sort of showing Chevy kind of being a little bit more open with you guys about, okay, here's what we want to do and all of that. It's been a couple of years now. You got a President's Trophy and some playoff success. To what extent has it gone as you kind of expected it might?
Yeah, I think that's that was big on Chevy to do as well. I give him a lot of respect, for having those conversations and letting me ask questions and him asking questions. I think that shows a lot of class by Chevy, and that's just the Winnipeg Jets organization. They're a class act through and through, and obviously won the President's Trophy. Obviously we didn't win a Stanley Cup last year, so we didn't reach our goal, but the thoughts are continually to push towards winning a Stanley Cup, and I love what we did this summer. We have a fantastic team, and obviously a lot of core pieces here, and it should be an exciting season.
You called it unfinished business. There's been a lot of consistency on this team in players, in messaging. What makes you think that you guys are on the right track to get that unfinished business done?
Yeah, I just we have a good team. Obviously it starts with Bucky. The best goalie in the league helps big time, but we have a lot of great pieces, a lot of guys that love to play for each other and want to go battle with each other each and every day, and I think that's what creates a good camaraderie in this room. And I think every day you come to the rink, you got 22 best friends that you're willing to go to war with, and I think that's what makes us special.
So you loved the summer that your team had. Do you think enough's been done to fill the hole that Nick Ehlers leaves behind?
I think you just can't fill what Nicky does. At the end of the day, he's an absolutely fantastic player, and obviously talked to him out throughout the summer, and obviously we're going to miss him a lot. He was obviously a close friend, played with him for 10 years, and we're going to miss him. But obviously getting Taser, Nyquist, Pearson. Doing it a little bit more by committee. You're never going to find another Nikolai Ehlers. He was absolutely so dynamic and a fantastic part of this team for a long time. And you can't fill those shoes, but I really like the moves we made, and excited to see what Taser's got, and He's been awesome since he's been here, so you're very excited for that.
Can you say when a guy, I think he's got 5 years on you, but can you say you looked up to him growing up? Is that fair?
Oh, for sure I did. I actually brought up this story to him the other day at dinner. I was like, do you remember having dinner with me when I was 18 years old? And he was like, you know what? A buddy brought that up to me actually the other day. And I was like, yeah, we had dinner together. I was roommates with Andrew Ladd. And he was like, hey, do you want to come to dinner with me and Buff? And I was like 18 at the time. It was my first road trip. I was like, yeah, of course. And I show up and it's Taser and Duncan Keith, Marion Hossa, and Brent Seabrook. And I was like, I nearly crapped my pants. But I brought that up to him the other day, and he was like, someone actually did bring that up to me the other day. So it's kind of cool to, to relive that story. It was a pretty unbelievable night for me. I was absolutely terrible the next night, too. I was in awe of all the guys I was playing against that I just had dinner with. But, it's kind of cool that it kind of humbles you and brings you back to, what it was like when I was 18.
They didn't stick you with the bill, did they?
No, they definitely did not. If they did that, I would have had to get a loan. But no, it was awesome.
Were you able to sort of be brave enough to speak, or in a room like that?
Oh no, I did not say one word. It was absolute, and I like to talk too. So it was complete silence for the entire dinner. But I was just trying to soak it all in, and still remember Seabrook tapping me on the shin pads in warm up, and I was like, oh my goodness, where am I?
Mark, speaking of guys that you know, what's Tanner Pearson going to bring to this group?
Oh, a lot. He does kind of everything. Shoots the puck well, can kind of play up and down the lineup. Obviously, I know him very well. I played up with his team in minor hockey a number of times, so I've known him for a very, very long time. Obviously, played with him in junior, and I think he brings obviously experience. He's won cups. He's a guy that you kind of can plug in anywhere, and he'll do well. He battles hard, he skates well, shoots the puck well. He kind of does everything, can be like a bit of a Swiss Army knife, and having guys like that, especially in a long season, it's very crucial.
Mark, just a quick one on fitness testing. I think yesterday was the last day under the new CBA. It'll be done. What's your take on that? Was there a quiet celebration, or are you a guy that actually likes that part of it?
It kind of goes both ways. I think. As a young guy, you prided yourself on coming to camp in good shape and showing it in those aspects. Now that I'm older, I'm very, very excited that it's not a part of it anymore. We thought about getting shirts that said "Never Again" for yesterday, but it's tough to say. It kind of depends on the situation you're in. I don't really know. It's a tough question, actually.
Is that a throwback? The inclusion of it's kind of a throwback to a different time, right? Where maybe guys would come to camp to get into shape, but that's not an issue anymore in the modern NHL. Yeah,
I agree. Nowadays it's so much about training. It's so much about being on the ice in the summer and coming into camp, being kind of at your peak. I can't see guys now just slacking all summer because there's no fitness testing. But I always say, once you get on the ice for the first practice, you can kind of see who's struggling a little bit or who's not, and I'm actually very happy there's no fitness testing. Camp's a little shorter, less preseason games, so I think the PA did an awesome job with the NHL getting that new CBA done, and obviously we just want to continue to grow this game and make it make so many people see how amazing this game is and grow it to the level that we believe it's at.
About just bodies and health. I mean, St. Louis series was pretty big for you. Is that all history, and what actually happened there?
I got hurt. I didn't play the last 2 games. I'm feeling great now. I feel my body's 100% and excited to get the season started.